recently found out that two of the violence interrupters, total group was hired when this program started, and two of them we just found out had quit from the program. So do you see this being a trend when you hire new violence interrupters?
Well, so per cure violence, it is a high turnover rate, right? So we kind of prepare for that. So the job posting is always, it never comes down. It consistently stays up. We continually pull applications for individuals to participate. When numbers go down like they did in this particular instance, being able to have individuals who are participatory, as far as like individuals that are in college, that are doing intern hours, myself, just to make sure our violence interrupters are safe while they're canvassing, while they're out in the community. So to kind of compensate for the individuals who fall off, we just make sure that we're able to have the resources to have individuals help them out. So we had one intern who is a college graduate, who will soon be a college graduate, and myself. So to make sure that we have a good quality for individuals out while they're working.
What have been some of the challenges of addressing gun violence here in the city of Toledo? Because every other city in the country is dealing with a rise in gun violence right now. So what in particular has been the challenge in Toledo?
When you speak of challenges, right, we have to address things that are historically and systemic through a lot of the communities, right? The distrust in government, the distrust in media, the distrust in law enforcement from a community who has been historically and systemically mistreated, excluded from these processes. And so developing that trust in the community who has been marginalized for decades, is difficult. And so building up that trust within the community to reframe, to change the norm of what we've been experiencing has been the biggest challenge, right? We want to prevent violence. We want individuals who perpetrate violence to face justice, but we don't want to participate in that by sharing what we know or information with law enforcement. To change what is considered snitching, the theme of snitching, it's just a huge misconception of what a snitch is. And because of that, it makes it hard to bring individuals to justice who perpetrate violence. And so we have to, and I do this when every chance I get in front of a large group of people from our community, I definitely share this message, because we as a community have a responsibility in addressing violence as well. Snitches are individuals who benefit from sharing information with law enforcement, whether it's leniency on a sentence, leniency on time, leniency in the eyes of the judges, they benefit. So them giving up information is self-serving to what their conditions is. Individuals who are law-abiding citizens who just want to make sure that these tragedies don't happen with their family, don't happen in their community. These aren't snitches. It's impossible to be a snitch and a law-abiding citizen at the same time. And so that misconception, it hurts our community. It's very similar to vaccinations. The African-American community does not participate as largely as we should in vaccinations, but there's a distrust in medicine, which has been earned. And so changing that trajectory of what we see, and we have a number of examples, as from Tuskegee experiments to most recently NFL concussion cases where African Americans don't receive concussion settlements because of the erroneous perception that we experience pain or have a high tolerance for a number of false reasons. But so there is a distrust in medicine and a distrust in government. And so with that, we have to break down these barriers to build up that, to change that norm. And so that individuals that do perpetrate violence can face justice. And therefore it'll turn around. And when people know that there are consistent consequences, it changed the thinking. But when people don't face justice or face consequences for their action, it perpetrates the cycle. It continues the cycle of violence, knowing, you won't be held accountable because nobody's saying nothing. Witnesses are silent. And so we have to change that norm.
Finally, what are some partnerships that are crucial to addressing this issue? Because it can't just be one person trying to address a whole city that's dealing with this issue. So what has been some partnerships throughout these last few weeks that have really been crucial?
I think some of the partnerships that have yielded some great results and will continue to yield results is the partnership working with TPS, working with our faith-based community, the churches, working with probation and parole, working with our community centers that engage our community and provide services to the communities. I think all of those are excellent partnerships, but the primary partnership is with community members. Other partnerships are businesses in the communities that profit off those individuals. They have a responsibility to our community, law enforcement. And so those are just to name a few of partnerships in regards to changing what we're seeing.
JoJuan Armour, Commissioner of the Mayor's Initiative to Reduce Gun Violence, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jaden. Appreciate that.
Thank you. You have a good one.
You too, buddy.
JoJuan Armour, Commissioner of the Mayor's Initiative to Reduce Gun Violence, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jaden. Appreciate that.